Welcome back to Next Level You podcast, you guys. I have such an exciting collab today. I have Andrea with me today. So, the whole intention behind today's episode and why I brought Andrea on is because I really wanted to talk to somebody about the importance of showing up as that next level version of yourself. This is a concept that, well, I've always been into fashion. It's always been a part of me, my personality. I actually wanted to be a fashion designer as a young girl. Fun fact about me. But I growing up, never was taught how to do makeup. My mom and my sister really weren't like girly girls like I am, so they never wore makeup. And when I became an entrepreneur, it became really important to me. Like, I really want to step out as that next level version of myself. And she has her makeup all done and put together. And I've never really been the person that wants to like paint my face, really. Like, I want to look natural, but at the same time, I want to feel put together. And I want to show up in my style as that next level version of myself as well. And so a friend had recommended Andrea. Andrea works for House of Color. She has her own business here in Eastern Iowa. And so I went to Andrea and had a color consultation done last year for my birthday. And you guys, like, I cannot stress enough how life changing this was for me. I left that consultation seriously so freaking confident. I mean, I felt so good about myself. My friend Liz went, and that's who actually recommended that I go. And I saw her results and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And at the same time, though, I was like, "I don't really know if that's for me." But then I met Andrea. And so I got this idea to do this for my birthday. Best gift I could have given to myself. Like, it's truly like I gifted myself the gift of confidence that week because, like I said, I left that appointment. She taught me this 90-second makeup routine
Mhm.
and I've stuck with it ever since. And it's been a game changer in my life. And besides that, besides the makeup, learning what my color season is has been a game changer for me as well. So, Andrea, can you introduce yourself for listeners who don't know what House of Color is?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Stephanie. I'm so excited to be here. So, I'm Andrea Welter. I'm the franchise owner for House of Color Dubuque, and I have been a consultant for a little over 2 years now. But I've had my colors done for almost 4 years now. And so, what happened after my own color analysis was the simplicity that came into my life as a mom of being able to feel good, even though I was wearing just like athleisure around the house, as we do as moms, right? But I still felt really put together, even though I was wearing that. And so I kept talking about it and talking about it. And I'm like, I just really want to share this with other moms and other women
Mm,
for that matter. But goes across the board. Men can also do this as well.
yeah. Yeah. Love that. So, what sets House of Color apart from other like color consultation services?
Yeah, so there's other color analysis companies out there, but what sets House of Color apart is that we've been around for 40 years. So we started out in the UK, and that's why if you look at our brand name, there's a U in the word color. Okay, so we've been
Hmm.
around for 40 years. We came over to the United States a little over 10 years ago, and we've really grown exponentially in the last few years just with social media. And so we now have like 400 consultants across the
Yeah.
United States, which is
Wow.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But that also has enabled us to build up a lot of resources for our clients to support them through this journey of transforming their wardrobe and making this a cohesive tool in their lives.
I love that. So do you find that you primarily attract women for color consultations?
Primarily because I think the stigma is that color analysis means fashion
Yeah,
and that means women. And
right.
while that couldn't be further from the truth, that's typically who the majority of our clients are. Although we are
Sure.
seeing more males dip into it
That's
because
awesome.
I will say men do love the simplicity because they love how like cut and dry it is. And
Hmm.
that way they can be empowered when they are shopping, but also putting together their own outfits that they don't
Yeah,
have to like ask their wives or just be uncomfortable with what they're wearing and have a little fun with it too.
I love that.
Hmm.
While I thought initially your primary service was just a color analysis, there's actually a lot more that you offer than just that. So what are some of the other services
Yes.
that you
Yeah.
provide?
So our core services are a color analysis and a style analysis. And so color analysis, we look at that undertone. And what that means is we are looking at that second layer of your skin. Okay. So what a lot of times when you're visually looking at someone, you're seeing their outer tones. Okay. And that is why we cannot look at someone and kind of guess what their season is. We have to make that undertone react. And that's where the draping process comes into play, because you see that reaction between the strategic pairs of drapes that we have. Okay. So that determines your undertone, determines your season. And then we have style analysis, and that's more structure. Okay. So what body or what shapes make up your body? And we translate that into fits and cuts of fabric that best honor your body shape. We also do vertical proportions to see where do we want to add detail and where don't we want to add detail. What's your best pant rise? What's your best jacket length? What's your best leg opening? Can you do a crop leg? Should you not do a crop leg? We go over all that detail. So while both of these services, it kind of puts blinders on, because we live in a world, for one, there's trends like going over and over again. Every season is a new trend,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so it gets kind of really overwhelming to really decide what works for me and what doesn't work for me. So it
Right.
really helps to put blinders on, for one, for the colors, right? Because you have
Right.
like 10 different options sometimes. So what
Yep.
is my best? And then the trends for like style elements, fits and cuts of fabric. That's the main thing for style analysis. And then we do have some extra services as well. So sometimes people just feel really confident after a color and a style. But we also have closet edits where we go through and we kind of help you decide, is this color match your season? Does this style really resonate with you and your clothing personality? And what
Mm.
kind of outfits can we put together with what you already have? After that, if we still need some help, we need some different pieces added into our wardrobe, we have personal shopping, which is an option.
Love
And
it.
then we also have what's called advanced color. And so sometimes you just love our services so much that you want to keep coming back. And so there's this
Yeah.
advanced color. And so we dive deeper into your season and your subseason for that matter to really help you understand like color combinations for your subseason. So those are that's
It.
like the gist of it, our
Okay.
services. So
That's awesome. I love
mhm,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
I could see it being one of those things where like maybe you've gone for a color consultation, and then you went for a wardrobe consultation, and now you're like, okay, this is so much fun. I just want to keep going. And I could
Yes,
see
I just
wanting more.
because you feel so good
Yeah.
afterwards, and it's just like honestly, it's like I hear so much and I see so much relief after
Yeah.
clients, like, get this process done. It's like, okay, because society like, we get this direction from society that we need to be a
Hmm.
certain way, or you, like, have to wear this makeup that makes you look
Yeah.
like a completely different person,
Yeah.
and so what happens is we kinda strip everything away, which kind of
Hmm.
can feel a little daunting, but we strip everything away and we really look at the intricacies of that undertone to see like, no, if you rather than like the pink, actually this orange looks really great on
Yeah.
you. Okay. And
Yeah.
so you actually don't need to wear a lot of makeup when you wear this orange color, you
Right.
know? And
Right.
so that's really kind of just freeing for someone,
Yeah.
and giving permission to clients is fantastic,
It is.
because a lot of times when someone comes for a style analysis, say like ruffles are like trendy right now,
Hmm.
and
Right.
like someone might be really uncomfortable with it and is like, yep, that really doesn't work for you anyway. So
Right.
it
Right.
just gives you permission to leave those trends at the door.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like permission and validation in any field, especially like as
Absolutely.
a therapist, I
Yes.
feel like those things go so far for people. It doesn't
Yes.
matter where you're at though. Like even in fashion, giving someone permission to like try this style or give somebody
Yes.
validation that actually that color really is flattering to you. It can go so far from somebody that you don't know.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
awesome.
Absolutely.
So there's some misconceptions that I want to talk about. So like some people that I've referred to go to you or to do a consultation in general, there's some
Mhm.
misconceptions around like, oh, but if I go, I'm going to have to like throw out my entire wardrobe. Can
Mm.
you talk to that a little
Mhm.
bit? Because that's just
Yeah.
simply not the case.
Mhm. Mhm. So when you come, I will very clearly say there are no bad colors. Okay. And this is a tool for you
Yeah.
to
Yep.
simplify things. And some people like to be really strict with themselves. That's different personalities. That kind of helps you determine your clothing personality as well. But
Yeah.
some people are a little bit more lax and they will kind of bend the rules a little bit. And either way is, I'm not the color police. I'm not going to tell you that you're not in your season when you're out and about, because that is not the point. That is missing the point completely. This
Yep.
is to empower you to kind of dress creatively for one, and to wear color, because color does help boost
Yeah.
your mood. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just going to add in, because we are
Yeah.
designed for color. Okay.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so if you think about, we consume it visually. So we like to see like right now, like the grass is green, the sky is blue, like that just
Yeah.
boosts your mood, right?
Yeah.
Sunsets, the different colors of the sunsets, right?
Yeah.
Flowers, and even to the foods that we should be eating, right? We should be eating
Mhm.
a rainbow of color to adequately
Yep.
nourish our bodies, okay? And so when we are constantly putting neutrals on our bodies, I will say there's no like reason, no, nothing wrong with neutrals by any means.
Right.
But when we are constantly putting that on our body, it can be really dampening on our mood. And
Mhm.
so this process kind of opens up that lens of what can pair with those neutrals to add that pop of color to really kind of give you a little pep in your step. So it's
Yeah,
really fun.
I love that. That's a great way of explaining that. I mean, truth be told, so when I did my color consultation, I found out I was a true summer, which was so spot on for me. I mean,
Hmm.
I love summer,
Hmm.
but
Yes.
I came home and first thing I did was I went through my entire closet. And actually, I mean, ironically, 60% of what I had, so I already
Hmm.
color coded my closet, but when I
Hmm.
went through, so they give you this color swap of all the colors that fall in your season. And so I went through that. And as I was going through my closet, I like pulled out the clothes that fall into my true summer season. And 60% of my closet was
Yes.
already that, ironically.
Yes.
So you're
Yes.
probably gonna find that more often than not. You might either intuitively or instinctively just be drawn to that color or those colors anyways. I mean, maybe not always,
Absolutely.
but yeah,
Yep. I will say that repeatedly in an appointment. You likely already have a lot of things in your closet that already
yeah,
work for you. So we're going to capitalize on that and
right.
see what else we can add in to complement that.
Absolutely. I love it. And then the other thing that I mentioned earlier that for me anyways was just so
Did I lose you?
satisfying what I got out of my appointment was that 90-second
Okay.
makeup routine. That for somebody like I mentioned earlier who did not grow up learning how to wear makeup, that was so validating. It built my confidence in ways that I don't think anything else could have.
Yes. You have so many options. You walk into like Sephora or Ulta and you have, my gosh, like thousands of options. So it
Yeah.
just, again, it helps you to kind of zero in on what works best for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I also love about your guys' makeup is makeup line itself is clean. And I at that time had been going through this transition in my home environment of getting rid of the toxic and chemical based stuff and trying to have cleaner products from, things in my kitchen to the bathroom to what I put on
Yes.
my face every day. And so I feel really good putting on the makeup because I know I'm not painting my face with a bunch of chemicals, hormone disrupting chemicals, whatever you want to call it. So that's an added plus if you ask me.
Yep.
Okay.
So since we are a UK company, we do follow UK guidelines as to what we can put into the makeup. So while the US bans like a handful of ingredients, the EU bans thousands. So
Yeah. Huge plus.
and they're season specific too. So that way,
Love it.
once we know your season, I just have this small group of lipsticks and small group of blushes that are all designed for your coloring.
Yeah. And then one thing that I want to mention too for listeners who have like never heard of this is you also get introduced to like colors, yes, but then one thing I didn't realize came out of it also is the kind of jewelry that we wear. So I feel like every year before my color consultation, I would go back and forth between, oh, this year I'm more drawn to silver jewelry. This year I'm more drawn to gold jewelry. And then come to find out like I should be
Mhm.
wearing silver jewelry. So that was something that was unexpected for me. I didn't realize I was going to get out of that appointment either. So for
Mhm.
people who are like, what about jewelry and colors? That's an added bonus that you get out of it as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hair too, because
Oh,
that is
really?
right next to your face. And we talked
Mm.
about that. And you changed your
Oh,
hair a little
yeah.
bit too. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So we darkened your hair a little bit. We cooled
Yep.
it. We made it more neutral, and that harmonizes better with your coloring and with your closet too. So most
Yeah,
importantly, you though.
so if you do dye your hair, which no problem if you do. I mean, I have since I had premature graying happening, I have always dyed it since I was like 25, but I found out that getting closer to my natural color was what was going to be best for my season. That made complete sense to me. Like what you're born with is what's probably going to be most attracting
Yes,
to, yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
So your natural hair color will usually always work for you. There's a couple of small groups of people that might need some brightening to their hair, but most people can get by with their natural hair color.
Love that. Okay, that's very helpful. Have there been any like really memorable transformations that you've witnessed as a color consultant?
And so there's a few of them. And so one is Heather.
Yeah, my cousin.
So, yes, your cousin Heather. So I just remember her color analysis too, because I think she walked in black, which 98% of people walk in black, and that is absolutely fine. But, she's like a hairdresser. So, like, that's like their like uniform, right?
Yeah.
They typically wear black. But then she brought her daughters in, and she walked in, and I'm like, wow, like you are
Yeah.
glowing. And
Yeah.
she literally looked 10 years younger than when I first saw her. And I thought that was so amazing. She was one of those people that cleaned out their closet really quickly. I usually say
Yeah.
that this is like a 2-year process, and she did it in a week. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But I was just taking the pressure off. Like, you don't have to do it that quickly.
Right.
So hers
Right.
has been fantastic. One of my clients, Sarah, hers has been wow. Like, she
Really
looks at least 15 years younger for her
cool.
too. And just you can see when this happens, you see like their personality come out a little bit more because they
Yep.
feel really good about themselves.
Yeah.
And so I just love seeing that when I see my clients repeatedly.
That's amazing.
One from Style was this girl that came. She was a military wife, okay? And so she has this military wife, dresses really conservatively just for their
Right.
lifestyle and whatnot. And so she has a really big personality though. And so she's like, yeah, I need to tone it down a little bit. I need to learn how to tone it down. And I'm like, oh, really? Like, why do you say that? It's just like felt like she was startling people, or like heard she was just
Oh.
really loud for like the group that she was in. And I'm like, no, you don't need to tone it down. Like,
Mhm.
that's you. I think you need to prepare them better
Mhm.
for you. So you need to dress a little bit more bold. You need to prepare them for that bold personality that you have. So it isn't such a shock. So they're like, that visual cue that you're sending off matches that personality. So that's kind of more about what when we talk about in style too, matching that inside
Mm,
to what you do on the outside. Again, to
love
kind of
it.
control how other people are perceiving you.
Yeah, that's on my
So,
to-do list is to do a style consultation next. I mean, it was actually on my to-do list prior to getting Augie, and then that went on the back burner
mhm.
a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I could see that
You
really
do.
helping.
Yes. And again, it's just giving that permission.
Yeah,
Like, do I have to do this or no? Like, you don't
right.
always have to do something. And it just kind of lets that personality peek out a little bit more. And a lot of people feel really authentic gets really thrown around a lot, but
I
really
know.
feels like true to themselves. And they
Yeah.
feel really comfortable. And so you can see them really grow in their personal lives. And that's really cool to see.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and yeah, authentic unfortunately does get thrown around a lot, but I really
Hmm.
did feel like leaving there, I felt like I had permission to be more authentic, and as cliche as that sounds, it's true.
Because after this, not like you dress differently
You
than the
do.
people around you anymore.
Yes.
So
Yes.
sometimes it can be like, okay, I'm dressing different, but I feel really good. So like
Mhm.
there's kind of like this period of time where you kind of transition out of that uncomfortable
Yep.
feeling that you have. But
Yep.
then it comes to be like, I feel really good. I really
Yeah.
don't care that I'm dressing different than you. So
I totally
that's
agree. I
pretty
went through
empowering.
that. It is very empowering. I agree. I went through that as well. And so I get a monthly style box just for listeners
Hmm.
that aren't aware. And it's from Short Story, which is specifically for petite women of all sizes. And I specifically, after my color consultation, I sent a message to my stylist and was like, I sent her my pictures, I sent her my color season, and I told her from now on, do not send any colors not in my season. Like I'm slowly transitioning into this season. I didn't want blacks anymore. I didn't want like primarily neutrals, which I felt like was a lot of what I was getting. And since then,
Hmm.
it's like I only get colors sent to me and I just
Yes,
freaking
good.
love it. But what Andrea is saying, like, you get that permission to. I feel like I was always wanting to be dressy whenever we would go out with friends or whether it be like a party or just a small gathering. I always wanted to be the one dressing up. But if nobody else did, then I felt like I didn't have permission to dress up.
Right.
And going and doing that consultation with Andrea, it did give me permission. Like, it's okay to be the dressy one in the room. It's okay to be the only one in a dress. Like, here in the Midwest, like, people just don't seem to dress up like that a lot. I mean, you're just going to a brewery or a winery on a Friday night with friends. Like, who's going to wear a dress? But you kind of feel like, no, I can now. I can be the dressy
Mhm.
one, and it's okay. And you just learn to own it, honestly.
Yes.
It's huge.
Well, you have the confidence to own it as
Yeah.
well. So,
Yeah. I
because you
totally agree.
know that you look amazing. So
Right.
that
Right.
makes a big difference in how you show up when you do that too.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, one huge side effect or one huge consequence of doing a service with you is you're just naturally going to get a confidence boost. But besides that, what other benefits do you feel like people can get from having a session with you?
Just the simplicity
Mm,
again.
hmm.
There's just, you walk into a store, I can walk into Target or another store, and I can walk through Target in 5 minutes and know what's going to work for me or whatnot.
Yep.
Like I have so much just confidence or just, I want to say like relaxed
Yeah.
state. I guess that's not the right
Yeah.
words that are coming out right now, but just like, nope, I'm fine without that.
Right.
And it also has like raised my standards for what I want to bring back into my wardrobe because I
Hmm.
have created this wardrobe that I love. And if it doesn't make me feel like an 8, 9, or 10, like I'm leaving it at the store. So I'm actually
Hmm.
saving a lot of money that way as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a really good point.
saves
I
you a
mean,
lot of money.
yeah, and that's something I didn't even think to bring up. Like, people think, like, oh, if I'm going to spend this money on a consultation, like, there better be an ROI for me. Besides just how you're
Hmm.
going to feel better, you're going to be a lot more particular about what you are spending your money on. So, you're not going to be spending money on things that you're only going to wear once or twice if you're not going to feel
Yes.
good in it. Yeah, that's a great point.
I think I did the math. If you can find like 10 items in your closet with the tag still on them, that's a pays for a color analysis right there. And
Oh,
most
yeah.
people can usually find that.
Hmm. That's a really good point. Yeah, it's funny that you brought my cousin up because and she's probably an outlier in that way, but she literally went home and went through her closet that night. And then, yeah, within the week, she completely got rid of any clothes that are not in her season. And like Andrea mentioned, she does hair. She has her own salon for a living. And so she wears a lot of black just naturally because that's I mean, when you go to
Mhm.
Capri, like, that's just what you're told to do. She got rid of, like, 90% of her black, you guys, and she incorporated more what's the word that you guys use? Your point of black? Or is that point of red I'm thinking of?
Point of
What's
red.
that? It's
Hmm.
point of red for
Yep.
lipstick, okay. But
Yes.
everybody has,
Hmm.
like you know how we pair a lot of colors with black? Like, every season has that color that you can pair almost every other color with, right? Like, mine
Hmm.
was,
Yep.
like
Or we call it better than black. I think that's what you're
yeah, the
looking
better
for.
than black. You're
We call
right.
them
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so hers was brown, and so she just black got replaced with brown, and in mine, I think mine was like a light, like, tan or
So
for
you have
summer
rose brown, you have
yeah, the
French
rose brown.
navy, and smoked grape
Yeah, so I, like,
for your better than blacks.
literally replaced all my black with I have a boatload of navy now because, like, I can pair any color with it. So you learn if you're somebody who wears a lot of black and you're afraid to do a color consultation because 'cause you're like, "What if I get rid of all these black clothes?" Well, you don't have to, you just learn what to pair
No, you
with
do
it,
not have
first
to.
of all. But when you do start to find that other better than black color and you see yourself in it more often, like, I'm just naturally more drawn to navy, and I just don't
Yes.
really desire to wear
Mhm.
black, to be honest with you. So you just learn to, like, swap out some things with others, but I still have all my black clothes. Like, I didn't get rid
Yeah,
of black.
yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
lot more particular about when I wear it. The other thing I wanna mention and why there's there's all times or all kinds of reasons why you would do a color consultation, but I feel like I think about your marketing a lot, Andrea. So going into
Okay.
summer, I was like, this would be a good like we're going into swimsuit season. So I was thinking like what color
Yes.
swimsuit do I want to buy this year? And I went
Yes.
back to like
Mhm.
House of Color and I'm like, oh, this would be a
Mhm.
good marketing tactic for like
Yes.
every summer. Like that's my big decision is like what color swimsuit for this summer. And I go back to like, well, what color would look most appealing, I guess, on me.
Mhm.
And
Hmm.
it's like my decision got narrowed, so it's a much easier decision every summer, I feel, because now
Yeah.
I'm, like, not drawn to those colors that aren't in my season, you know? I don't know.
Funny that you say that. This is kind of just pretty candid, but like I haven't bought a swimsuit for probably 2 years, maybe, I think.
Okay.
Because again, I really like the one that I have. And I'm
Yeah,
also, it saves you money, but I'm also willing to invest more for something that's in my season and matches my clothing personality because I know I'm going to wear it so, so much. We
agreed.
talk about cost per wear in style analysis to help you
Okay.
kind of figure that out when you are shopping.
Yeah, I love that. I totally agree. I mean, like, there's certain times of the year when I think, "Oh, it makes most sense to do a color consultation now," like before prom season, before a wedding,
Hmm.
like before big events, like you naturally think like this would be the best time to do it. But what I just didn't think of like, oh, before summer because it's swimsuit season. This makes the most sense when I initially wanted to do one before we had Augie was for that reason. Cause I'm
Sure.
like, it's
Yeah.
always a
Yeah.
dilemma every
Mhm.
summer. Like, what color swimsuit should
Yes.
I get?
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
that I thought of that and I'm like, "Oh, she should do a reel about, like, choosing your swimsuit color," and I was gonna
Yeah.
text you, and
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
never got
that's a good
around to
idea.
it. Okay, so I wanna touch briefly on the makeup consultation piece because that
Okay.
was just so big for me. For somebody who isn't familiar with makeup like me or who feels like maybe they just want a more efficient way of doing their makeup, describe that, like, 90-second like, what's so significant about that as far as, like, fitting it into a routine in the morning?
I think the big thing is about 90-second makeup is when you are wearing colors in your season that naturally honor you, that help you to glow and lift your face up and make your eyes look more awake, you really don't need a lot of makeup. Okay. So that's
Yeah.
the first point.
Okay.
And then the next point is that we have season specific products. And so we have season specific blushes and season specific lipsticks. And so what that does, again, when you put that color, when you surround yourself with this color, it's going to change how you're perceived. So if you remember when I did your makeup at your consultation, I only did half your face with your blush first. Okay.
That's right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And so I did half your face. It lifted that side up. You could see how this side still looks good, but
Yep.
like how just that little bit of blush lifts that up. But also your eye got brighter and it looked more open and awake because we're implementing that color theory with your makeup. And
Mhm.
so I will tell you, we put the teeniest amount of makeup on when we did that as well. And you're probably noticing too when you are going through your makeup, you don't really need a lot of it because it's very
Nope.
pigmented. And so when you do that, just that little bit of blush, you don't need the contour because that blush, that color is going to help define that cheekbone as well
Mhm.
as the colors that you are wearing. And so you don't need, like, even I don't even put on eyeliner or eyeshadow when we're doing the 90-second makeup. At like a makeup consultation, we would go into that a little bit more.
Okay.
But during that 90-second makeup, it's just to really show evidence of like the fact that you do need just this very little bit of makeup when you are wearing the correct colors. So
Yeah.
that's a big
Yeah.
thing is wearing your colors leads to you not needing to wear as much makeup.
Yeah. And
So
honestly, like, because I didn't grow up with makeup, even the idea of purchasing lipstick was so intimidating to me because in today's world, there's just so many colors of lipstick that you can even
mhm,
choose from. That 90-second routine was huge for I mean, I only have 6 colors right now, but I feel like I'm set. I don't like, I feel like I'm covered no matter
yeah,
what color I wear. I
yes,
don't need, like, an abundance
yeah.
of them?
No, you do not.
Yeah.
And you can even mix those that you
Right.
have because they're
Right.
all complementary to each other in a way. So that way you can make more colors with that. That's what I love too. Because when you are have your makeup within your season, for one, your makeup bag is a lot smaller, but
Mhm.
they complement each other so nicely. So I love to mix blushes together. I love to mix lipsticks together to
Yeah.
create this new color. And it's a way to
Yeah.
kind of get that creative outlet out as well when you are getting ready. Because a lot of times as a like especially as a mom,
Right.
entrepreneurs, we sometimes put ourselves on the back burner. And so you might find it to be a way to be your creative outlet when you're
Yeah.
getting dressed in the morning that takes you 5 minutes, or putting that 2 minutes worth of makeup on lets you to be that little bit of self-care, even though it's a
Mhm.
normal part of your day. So I don't know if you'd even call it self-care
Right,
because
right.
it's just something that you have to do. But
Yeah.
it kind of just lets you love on yourself just for that little bit of time. And in turn, that's
Mm.
going to transcend into your thoughts and actions for the day because you took the time to do that.
Yeah, that's huge, and I think, yeah, for anybody who even if you're not an entrepreneur, but any professional who is balancing work and motherhood, you need that fast routine, but
Yeah.
I think so many women think you have to sacrifice putting yourself together because you gotta get the kids out
Yeah.
the door and work obviously comes first a lot, but you can still you can still prioritize you, and it might be called self-care, but doing that
Hmm.
90-second routine, I am feeling like my best self when I walk out the door then, which means I'm showing up in my
Hmm.
therapy sessions more confidently. I'm showing up at the office in general more confidently. I just think it's gonna impact how you show up professionally. So it's not just self-care, it's part of, like, you being your best self at the office, which is huge, so there's so much to be said for that.
It will also take the attention off yourself. Even though we
Mm,
think that we're spending time to take care of ourselves and present ourselves in a way, it makes you feel so confident that you're not when you are in your therapy sessions, you're not thinking about is my lipstick wrong or is
mm-mm.
my do my clothes look good together? You're not even
Right.
thinking about that because
No.
you know it all
Yep.
goes together. And so you put your attention where it needs to be with your client, with your family,
Yeah.
friends, whatever that is. So I
Yeah.
think that's
The
really
funny
a big
thing
thing.
I totally agree with you, and the funny thing about, like, the weeks following after I had my session with you, like, I didn't tell a bunch of people that I did one, but just organically, people will be like, "Oh, you look really good in that color," which is so weird because
Yeah.
I didn't tell people, but I'm
Yeah.
just intentionally
Yes.
wearing my colors, you know?
Mhm.
It's so crazy.
Mhm.
People will notice,
Yes.
and Heather said the same
Yes.
thing. People off the street would
Mhm.
be like, "Oh my god, that green looks so great on you," and it's because it's in her season, and it's like, how
Yes, yes.
so crazy.
But it's also not only just the color, but I think they see how confident someone looks. And
Yes.
so I think that's what people are drawn to sometimes.
Mhm.
We kind of talk a little bit about that in style when you're resonating with someone, but
Mm,
people are drawn to that confidence. And
mm.
so that's what makes them, it's part of this like this cognitive dissonance comes into my mind
Ooh,
right now,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think that's the right word. But it's when you visually are consuming something and it's kind of like that dopamine hit again. Like everything looks in harmony. And so I'm really drawn to that. And so that's
Mhm,
where someone is coming up to you and saying, "You look really nice today. I love that shirt on you."
mm,
Or "You look really confident today." And so
mhm.
it's just creating this visual picture that
Yeah,
is very harmonious. So
yeah, that's
that's what
well
people are drawn
said.
to.
Yeah, some people would sometimes say like, "Oh, you look like you're glowing today," and I'd be like, "What?" Like, "What?"
Oh,
I
thank you.
wouldn't feel, any different, but, like, that's a huge
Yeah,
compliment, so,
it is.
yeah, your
Yeah,
eye is just naturally
absolutely.
drawn to, like you said, the
Hmm.
harmony of all the colors
Hmm.
together, and makes
Hmm.
complete
Yep.
sense. That's
Hmm.
awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
So if listeners are intrigued by this and then they're like, I need this for myself, how
Hmm.
can someone get started if they're interested, either whether it's here in Eastern Iowa or somewhere
Yeah.
else in the country?
So I'm here in Dubuque, so you can always reach out that way.
Okay.
But if you are in another part of the country or in Iowa still, if you go to houseofcolor.com, color with a U, and then find a stylist and you enter in your zip code and it'll bring up all the stylists closest to you. And so then you can kind of see who you want to reach out to for these services.
Awesome. 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 Is there anything else you want to leave with listeners before we wrap things up?
I don't think so. Oh, we were going to talk about
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
going to talk
yeah.
about
The
enclothed
big dress.
cognition. How
Yeah,
did
yeah,
we
yeah.
talk about
Talk
that?
about
Oh,
that because the book Big Dress Energy is now on my to read list. We were talking about that before we hit
okay.
record.
Yes. I was thinking about the question that kind of prompted me to think about that.
Which one was I?
I think what's the psychology behind color
Yes.
analysis, maybe?
Yes. Yep.
But like it kind of goes along the lines of look good, feel good.
Mm.
But there's this thing called enclothed cognition, and it's the systematic influence that clothes have on the wearer's psychological process. And so think about like when you don't feel good and you kind of want to dress in something comfortable, something baggy. Maybe you're wearing your husband's t shirt or sweatpants or something.
Mhm.
And so the thing about that is when you dress that way, and that is not how you see yourself, you are going to stay in that mindset for a longer period of time.
Mm,
Whereas if you are feeling tired, if you're ill or something, and if you choose to intentionally dress how you want to feel. So maybe you're putting together an intentional outfit, you're putting on the makeup. That's going to help you pull yourself out of that mood a lot quicker than if you were to kind of submit to your emotions and dress more comfortably. So I think that's so interesting, especially as for an example for myself, I guess I should say, it was this winter when my kids were on this rotation of being sick every week
mm,
and it was cold. And so I just like
yeah.
wanted to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I found myself dressing comfortable and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So what I did was I just picked an outfit that I knew that I felt really good in. And you know what? I've worn that outfit maybe 100 times. So
Mhm.
did I care at that point in time? No, because I knew it made me feel really good about myself and my confidence. So I wore that. I was in the studio that day and I had a fantastic day. And
Mhm.
so both my clients left with all of their makeup that day. And I'm like, that would not have happened if I
Yep.
were to dress comfortable.
Yep.
And so that's something that I'm going to leave anybody. You don't even have to have a
Yeah.
color analysis or a style analysis to do that, but just
Yeah.
dress intentionally, especially if you have tasks that you want to check off your to do list. Put it together an intentional outfit. Get out of the leggings. If you have things to do, put a pair of jeans on, put a dress on, whatever it is that makes you feel really good. And if you have an outfit that you love and you feel really good in, take a picture of it.
Mhm.
Because when you're going to have those crappy days where you don't feel like putting together an outfit, you're going to thumb through your favorite outfits and you're like, I'm going to put that on. I've worn it 10 different times. It's going to make me feel really good and pull me out of this mood. So,
Yeah.
and clothes
Yeah.
cognition. So,
I love that
something to
concept,
leave you
and
with. So,
yeah, it made me also think so prior to us getting Augie, I would do a daily meditation, it's called Future You meditation. My business coach made it. And so I would do that daily. It's just like a quick 15-minute guided meditation. I would do it every day. And part of it is visualizing that next level version of yourself. And I would always
hmm
picture myself specifically on maternity leave in these like comfortable clothes, but it wasn't like just
hmm
any old joggers or any old
no,
sweatshirt. I was picturing myself in the specific, it's Comfort brand. I don't know if you've heard of Comfort, but like it's a really
okay,
popular sweatpant brand, and they're not cheap. Like, it's that next level version of sweatpants, but, like,
hmm
that next
hmm
level version of me, that's what I'm walking around in the backyard in, but not just, like,
yes,
any color. I was specifically picturing myself in this, like, baby blue color that falls in my season. I'm picturing myself barefoot out in the backyard with our baby, and that was the first thing I bought myself when we found out we were getting Augie was, like,
oh,
that's what she's
yeah,
wearing is that
yeah,
Comfort brand of sweatpants in
yeah,
my color,
hmm
and
hmm
when I would put those sweatpants and that sweatshirt on, I felt like I stepped out as this, like, I'm a mom now and a
hmm
CEO,
hmm
and I can
hmm
afford, like, nicer clothes, and
yes,
so it does even, like, showing up just around the house, if I'm wearing a specific brand, like what you're talking about, I do
hmm
feel more confident. I do feel better
hmm
about myself, and
hmm
I sent a message to my stylist when we found out we were getting Augie, and I was like, "I want this specific type of jogger," because they're, like, fancier joggers, so I didn't want just, like,
yes, hmm
sweatpants for maternity leave. I wanted to
yeah.
feel good in what I'm walking around the house in,
But
but
you still
it
want to feel
really
elevated too.
yeah, you do, exactly. And so now that I'm getting off of maternity leave in a week, I'm thinking about like, okay, how do I want to show up at the office so that I'm still feeling good about myself? And you have to take into account like what makes you feel most confident because how I show up in the therapy room is going to matter if I feel good about how I look, makeup,
Mhm,
clothes,
mhm.
all of it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you're
I'm glad you
tired.
spoke to
He's
that.
like up yeah, and he's gonna like, you probably don't sleep as well as you used to,
Right.
and so
Right.
having that go-to outfit or go-to formula for how you're putting outfits together is really
Yeah.
helpful in those times where you don't have a lot of energy to think about it. I will also encourage anyone to kind of, like, play around in your closet too, like,
Hmm.
if you have a night where you don't have anything on the agenda, put some outfits together and you can really, like, get going on things like, "Oh, maybe if I put this with this," because in the mornings when you're rushing to get get ready, you're not going to have time to do that. And it's actually really fun. And it kind of breathes this new life in your closet that
Hmm.
helps you to feel creative for one,
Yeah.
but also be like, oh, I haven't worn that in a while. So let's see
Yeah.
how can we can use this and try to figure out different things. So,
I love
mhm,
that. That's
yeah.
great advice.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I like to end all of my collabs with some rapid fire questions. So, what
Okay.
is your favorite like power color in your season? And what's your season?
So I am in autumn, and I think my power color is geranium. I love it so much. So it's a red. It's a geranium red, in which a lot of people thinks that they cannot wear red, and it's like everybody has a
You're
red.
right.
So we're gonna
Yep.
find your red,
Yep.
but it really does. It signifies authority.
Hmm.
So I kind
Yeah,
of like
that's
that.
a good
Yes.
one. What is one wardrobe staple that you think every woman should have?
Pair of great fitting denim
Hmm. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. I totally agree. What's the best color tip for busy moms or entrepreneurs?
to learn your best colors.
Yeah, I mean,
You will be you will be so surprised how well you show up
yeah,
when you are wearing those colors,
yep,
not only for yourself, but how you show up for those that you love, your kids, your husband, your coworkers, your team, however, your clients, whatever that is. You'd be really surprised at how well you show up when you are wearing your best colors. So
yeah,
it's
I
pretty amazing.
definitely agree with that. And then what's your go-to confidence booster right now?
A repeated outfit. 'Cause
Okay. Yeah.
because I'm busy in summertime
Yep.
and I wanna be with my kids, and so
Yeah.
it's a lot of athleisure, but it's a lot of repeat because I'm just, like, quick to go out and be with my kids right now, so
Yep. I
and I'm okay
totally
with that.
agree.
So,
Yeah,
mhm,
I totally agree. When
yeah,
it's in your
mhm,
color or when it's in your season, like you don't it doesn't really bother you as much, I feel.
no, mm-mm,
Yeah.
no, because you feel really good in it, so
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Andrea, I so appreciate you making time. I know you're a
yeah,
busy mom, entrepreneur, all the things, but I really appreciate
mhm,
you making the time for this
yeah,
because I just feel this isn't talked about enough. I have brought this up with so many clients over the last year. I brought it up with so many friends. I've referred a couple
great.
gals that I met out at Powerhouse last year. I'm like, find a
Yes,
consultant near you. You
yes,
need to do
yes,
this. And it's
yes,
like caught on
absolutely.
like fire. So we
Mhm.
need people to
Yeah,
know
it
about
makes
this.
such a difference, and
Yeah.
really it's I mean, when you're thinking about the grand scheme of it, like, it's actually a really low cost of investment when you
Yep.
think of the ripple effect that it has within your business, but also in your life too.
Yeah,
So,
I totally agree. So when this airs, it'll
yeah.
probably be at the end of August. So perfect time
Okay.
going back to school. So I
Okay.
really hope
Yeah.
that your
Yeah.
caseload of
Perfect.
clients like fills right up with people wanting to do
Yeah.
consultations for going
Yeah.
back
That's
to.
pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys want, if you're local to Eastern Iowa, reach out to her, set up a consultation. I can guarantee you won't be disappointed. Andrea makes you feel like $1 million. And so
Yeah.
it's just the best gift you could truly
Yeah.
give
You're
yourself
so sweet.
or your kids, either or. So awesome. Well, thank you
Yeah.
again, Andrea. And
Awesome.
until
Yeah.
next
Thanks,
week,
Stephanie.
awesome. You guys have a
Okay.
great rest of your week.
All right. We'll see.
Done.